Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thousands of memories are created and captured in each photo taken on your magical vacation. We proudly present Capturing Magic, where we help those moments live on forever.
Hey everyone, welcome to Capturing Magic, where we are using technology to create and capture magic memories. I'm Steph and I'm your host today. This is episode 10, and I am also joined today by my co-host, Brittney Leavitt, who can be found at britishdesigns.com, where she creates Disney-ish digital scrapbook supplies and other non-Disney-ish, I can't talk today, Brittney, non-Disney-ish digital scrapbook supplies. Hi
Everybody. Hi, Steph.
All right.
Good show, I can tell.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah, super funny. All right, so we are doing a mail show today. We've got a few emails and comments on the site that we're going to address, and it's not necessarily just people's questions. We also have tips that people have shared in regards to some of the shows that we've done in the past, so we'll share those with our listeners too today. So I'm excited to jump in.
Me too. This is our 10th episode. I can't believe it.
10. I know, we're double digits now.
Woohoo.
That's exciting. Big deal. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The first piece of mail is from Debbie, and she says, "Thanks for the great podcast. We have never been to Disney and are going to Disney World next year. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about it. I read somewhere that there are fake scrapper pins out there and wonder if you have come across this, if there is a certain eBay vendor you would recommend who is legit, and if this is something you worry about, or if it matters, or if it's just for the fun of trading." Go ahead and answer, Brittney.
Yeah, I have heard of that before. I've heard that there are scrapper pins out there, and that's why when I talked about pins on a past episode, I mentioned just making sure to buy from like a U.S. seller, just because I feel like that's more reliable, and you just can see more about their location and stuff. But I don't know exactly like how you can tell the difference. And I've never come across that myself. I've never like gotten my pins and had troubles trading them or anything like that. And the pins that you would get in a big lot, like we talked about before, aren't like great pins. They really are more like she just said, more for the fun of trading.
Yeah.
But I don't have I'm trying to look and see. I should have looked this up before we started going. I'm trying to look and see who I bought from, just because I did have a good experience with them. And hang on,
yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know how to tell for sure if they're legit or not. I've read things about on the back, whether the imprint's there, the logo, or whatever. That's how you can, one of the ways you can know if they're the real deal or not. I think serious collectors for sure know how to tell the difference and would worry about it too.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to tell the difference for sure. And I definitely think if you're buying them off eBay, yeah, it's more for just the fun of trading. I mean, that's what I've done for my kids. It's more about just the fun of it.
Yeah. Okay, so the seller I bought from, the sellers, I don't actually see them having any, well, that's not true. Hang on. It's hard to say. It's irpliquidators.
Okay.
And they're a Florida-based seller, and it looks like they have a lot of lots and other things posted, like not just pins. So they sell other things as well on eBay. And they were really good as far as like emailing back and forth, because I had a couple of questions, and they actually, this particular seller let me make some requests. Like he knew, like I could tell him we're looking for this kind of pins and that kind of pin, and he would kind of do his best to throw in those. I mean, it's not like we got a lot of those, but a lot of places when you buy a lot, they won't let you request any. It's just totally random.
Right.
But this seller actually let me like say a few that I wanted. Like I told them we're looking for Little Mermaid pins and we're looking for, this and that. So he threw a few of those in for us, in our random assortment. So that's really nice. So yeah, if you want to look up IRP liquidators.
And maybe we can put a link in the show notes. And I have one that I can link up to as well. I don't know what their ID is or anything like that.
We'll put the ones that we've bought from it.
Yeah, we'll do that in the show notes for today's show. And then that way, if people want to go through those ones that we've had good experiences with. The one that I used, we could put in requests as well. And they would try to meet them as much as they could. I had some specific requests and they weren't able to meet a couple of them, but they did everything they could on the others. So
yeah. And I've bought these before, and not from this seller. I actually bought from a different one. This was a long time ago. This seller I know for sure doesn't have a site anymore, but I know that there are other places you can find the similar thing. When I went to Disney World in 2010 for our Mouse Scrappers meetup, I put together little gift bags for everybody I met, and in the gift bag I picked a pin, and so everybody got like this little Minnie Mouse pin that had Mickey ears on, because I always wore my Mickey ears when I'm at Disneyland or Disney World, wherever. And so anyway, I wanted like a whole lot of the same pin. Mm-hmm. So I was able to contact one of these sellers on eBay and say, okay, I need like 15 of this same pin. Like what do you have 15 of? And they were and this seller actually emailed me back and forth about what they had and let me pick 15 of certain ones, and I picked the one I liked, the cute Minnie Mouse one, and then those went in all my little gift bags. So it's a cute idea if you're putting together some sort of little gift. I don't know.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So they're I don't know where these sellers get all these pins from, but they have a lot of them.
They do. I know the people that I bought from, they said that they were from their personal collection, because they try to get the more collectible ones. And they said that they're just from their personal collection that they're not keeping anymore.
They don't need.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a good seller. So yeah, look that up for us so we can link it. People.
I will. So, okay, your turn to read.
Okay. Sorry.
No.
I'm not on the right page.
Yeah, I see. I do that to people and then they're not ready. And sorry.
Okay. So this email is from Joyce, and she said, "Hi, Steph. When you said you wanted to raise the camera above the crowd for fireworks shots, I'm the one you heard far, far away yelling, 'No! Fireworks look much cooler if you have foreground. If all you have in the frame is fireworks, you could have taken those pictures anywhere. Think of how much cuter it is with someone's ears silhouetted in front. You may have to put your ears on someone else, such as a cooperative husband, to be your silhouette.'"
Yeah,
so that was a comment about from an episode. We were actually talking about video at the time, when we wanted to raise the camera above people to video the fireworks. But I guess with video or with pictures, it would be cuter to have some Mickey ears silhouetted in the foreground. I
thought that was a really good idea. I had never thought of doing the silhouette like that, but I think it's a great idea. I'm trying to get the castle, the fireworks above the castle, and so I'm trying to get the castle in there. And when you're in a sea of people, I just wanted to raise it high enough that I could not have the people's heads, but be able to see the castle and the fireworks. So yeah.
The castle is kind of the key there. I mean, it's not just, you don't just want fireworks, the castle too.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true. I have some really cute pictures with like my family or people, just even random people in the foreground that you can see the ears silhouetted, or like kids on shoulders. And that's a really cute picture as well.
Super cute.
You don't necessarily need to crop out the crowd, I guess is what we're saying.
Yes. Yep, exactly. So that's perfect. Yeah, it was a good tip from Joyce. She's a fabulous photographer and videographer. She has some tips for me on the video as well, for making it so the lens doesn't move, putting an elastic band on the lens so that it doesn't move once, which I thought was a great tip.
Like because you were talking about when you raise your camera up that you won't be able to hold it. Is that what she meant?
Yeah. How do you keep it in focus? Because if the lens moves,
Yeah. So
then,
you put a stick on it?
Yeah, I put an elastic band around the lens to keep it in place. Is what she had a technical term for it. See, now I still can't think of the technical term. But the lens creep, I think, is what she called it. When your lens moves a little bit, it's called lens creep. And so she said put a thick elastic band on it, and it'll keep it from moving.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So great suggestion, Joyce. Thank you. Okay, let's see. This one's from Monica. And she said, I wanted to let you all know that Instagram now has its own web-based site for following feeds. So you don't need to use a third party. It's just Instagram.com/username. And it's a really pretty design. Thanks for the show. It had tons of great ideas. That was, of course, about our Instagram show. And I think that came out like 2 days after we recorded our show.
It totally did. I got the email about it from Instagram, and it like did, they were rolling that out, and I was like, of course. 2 days ago, we're like talking about Follogram and whatever, and now they have their own. So
yeah. I wonder how many people are going to move over to that, and if Follogram and all these other sites are going to become obsolete now.
I don't know. Does it do? I haven't looked at the Instagram site. Have you used it?
I've looked at it, is all, and it looks really good. The design is great. The photos show up large, and it's impressive.
Does it do everything that those other sites do?
I haven't done anything with it to know. Yeah, I haven't really looked around that much. I just looked at the design really quick to see what I thought of it. But here, I'll pull me up really quick and see. I know that you can't post from the web. You can still only post from the app.
Way to view it.
Yeah, it's just a way to view it. So, okay, I can't type apparently and talk at the same time. So it's not going to work. I can't check it out. But yeah, it's a great way to explore, because I think sometimes on Instagram on the app it can be a little bit hard. It's a great way to explore it and then be able to check out people and link up to them, which is useful.
That's always what I wanted to be able to do. Like I wanted to be able to put a link on my blog so people can look at Instagram just straight from my blog. There was not a way, but now there is. I'm actually going to go fix my sidebar.
I know, that's what I need to do too, because right now I have the Follogram thing in there.
So do I.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know what's on mine, but I'm going to switch it to this official one. So that's a good way. A good way also to share your Instagram pictures, like from your trip with your family and stuff. If they want to look at them all at once, you can just give them your Instagram.com/your username, and then they can go look at it.
Yeah, one thing that I would be interested to know is if people can follow RSS feeds from just one user on this site at all. Because that would be, people could, if family, like I'm thinking of my parents that are grandparents now, and they might not come and check out this site that often, but if I could sign them up so they were emailed every time, they would like that.
I don't see any RSS on the site I just went to it real quick. It's not really working right now for some reason for me, but I don't see one, but maybe there's a way.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
That would be awesome.
It would be cool. Just a cool feature. Not asking for much, right? Okay, your turn.
Okay, so this email is from Laura, and it says, I have a quick question for those of y'all making photo books out of your camera phone pics. Do you still scrap any of these photos in the traditional way? Quote, traditional way. I really like the idea of making small photo books for each trip, but there is no way I can give up my fancy Disney scrapbooks. That's what's holding me back. I'm afraid that I'll love the convenience of the phone books and then come home and kick myself if I try to make 2 books with just camera photos.
Do you want to answer that one?
Well, my initial thought to that is that I can't give up my fancy Disney scrapbooks either. That's like my hobby. I mean, scrapbooking, I do digital scrapbooking, and I would never give up my Disney scrapbooks. I feel like it's just different. It's just a different way of documenting the trip. And even if you only took I think she's meaning like if you only took camera photos, like if you did what Cammie, when we had Cammie Leonard on and she only took
Instagram
photos of her whole trip, if she would scrapbook those as well. And I guess maybe we could ask Cammie if she had scrapbooked any of them, but I think I would scrapbook some too, because it's just fun for me. It's like, it's my hobby and I love it. And it's a fun thing to do. And my scrapbook is different than if you made a little Instagram photo book. Yeah. Separate for me. I wouldn't give up my fancy Disney scrapbooks.
I totally agree. It's separate for me too. It's just a different way and a different look. if I was to make a photo book of just photos. For instance, the trip that I took with my parents this past September, I want to put a photo book together for them because I know that that's a fast way for me to get everything done and be able to get it to them in time for Christmas. Mm-hmm. However, I will still scrap some of my favorite pictures from that trip, but I don't feel like I need to necessarily scrap the whole entire trip.
Every single phone picture you took.
Yeah, and every single picture, period, because I've got it all documented in the photo book. Mm-hmm. But typically how I scrapbook anyway with my digital layouts is I just scrap what I want when I want. And so I'm not necessarily doing and completing a whole entire Disney album of every single trip.
That's exactly how I am too. If I do finish an entire Disney trip, it's like monumental. I like have a big party about it because it's so rare. Like I mean, in the last however many 6 years, I don't know, I have only finished maybe 2 of my Disney trips, like completed where I felt like
from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's my whole trip. And it's still not every picture. It's just all the pictures I feel like are scrap worthy.
Right.
But, for me, like if I made a small photo book with my phone pictures, it would be more something to just like have around and, hand around, or even, gifts like you said, or to be able to hand to my 1-year-old, It's not something that's as big and important as my scrapbook, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking up really quick to see what Cammie said, and she said that she did both on her. She
answered that question on the comments, huh?
She did, yeah. And she said that she did regular layouts with some of the photos, and then like she always does, but then she had the book done as well.
Awesome. And the cool thing is for me, I don't know how you print your digital scrapbook pages, Steph, but for me, I don't print a lot. And so if I had my, especially I don't want to print if you're not the type that can print out a whole book, like you do a book together, this way you have a book done and it's all your pictures and it's right there in your hands. It's not, sitting on your hard drive. So
yeah, something that people can enjoy and look at.
Yeah. Cause for me, a photo book like that would come out. I'd be able to knock that out faster, like way faster than I would get a scrapbook together.
Yeah, I'm figuring for me to do a photo book with all of these pictures, because most sites that you print with, I'm going to be using Adorama Pix just because that's the one that I like the best. Mm-hmm. And so I can upload most photo book printing sites. You can upload all of your photos that you want to use and have it autofill by the date that it was taken, the photo was taken. So it's all auto-filled chronologically, and then I can just go in and add little, bits and journaling and decorations and all of that fun stuff. Because on Adorama, you can upload PNG files, your own PNG files. And so I can put word art and all of that fun stuff and make it look good, but it'll be fast. I'm figuring it'll probably only take me an hour or 2 to get it all done.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what Cammie said on the show is that she was able to come home from her trip and within like a couple days have her whole Instagram book done and ordered and ready to go. Which, when does that ever happen, that you come home from vacation and then within 2 days you've got like a book done?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to document a vacation, especially a vacation Disney trip that has a start and an end. So...
Yeah, but bottom line, I guess, for Lara is it doesn't necessarily need to replace your traditional scrapbook in any way. It is up to you, I guess. If you want it to, it could, if you're, satisfied with it. But it sounds like she doesn't want to like give that scrapbooking up. So I would say, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about what makes you happy.
Yeah.
So, for sure. Okay, from Dawn, what a great show and congrats on the awards. I haven't been to Disney in a while, but I am so wanting to go again after listening each week. But this time I learned so much more and took my first Instagram photo at work today. I can see how that quickly gets addicting. Britt, I laughed hysterically at your comment that speeding up the podcast would make your brain hurt. I was thinking the same thing, just getting overwhelmed thinking about it. Can't wait to check out the next kit and see if I can find Downcast for my Droid. Yeah, so the Downcast was one of the picks. I think it was Cammie's pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Dawn. That's very nice. I we appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad it helped her learn and helped her want to get started on Instagram. That's fun.
Yeah, it is great. That's what we're all about. So
I haven't tried listening to podcasts at 1.5 speed yet. So I don't know if it makes my brain hurt or not. I'm content to just listen to it at regular pace.
Me too. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let's see. This is a lot of information, this next one from Heather.
Yeah, it's good information.
It's really good information. I was so glad that when we got this. Okay.
And this was Heather that was on a show a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So
Heather, who's been on our show.
Yeah.
So she said that you can order PhotoPass Plus during your trip, which is really good if you changed your mind or didn't realize it until it was less than 14 days before your trip, but you will pay more. It's $149 pre-ordered versus $199.95 for Disney World and $69.95 pre-ordered versus $99 for Disneyland. So basically she's telling us here that you just pay, whatever it is more when you get there. It says also that the price for the regular PhotoPass CD is different than PhotoPass Plus. Pre-ordering the regular PhotoPass for Disney World is $119 versus $169, which is the PhotoPass Plus. And the price for Disneyland, I believe, is the same as the pre-order for the PhotoPass Plus. So, Steph, maybe we'll start. This is a 2-part email here, but for this part, how when you get to Disneyland or Disney World and you forgot to order, how do you get the PhotoPass Plus when you're there?
Yeah, that's what I would bet you have to do is go into one of the photo stores, because when you have the PhotoPass Plus and you've pre-ordered it, you have to go into those photo stores anyway to get your special PhotoPass card lanyard.
Yeah.
And so I'm betting that that's how you would go in and order it anyway.
Well, that's good to know, because when we were talking about it before, we were saying that you had to pre-order it. Like, you couldn't just get it while you were there.
Yeah, that's been my understanding from everybody. So I'll go in when I'm down there and talk to them about it and just verify that they have that available. It's a lot more expensive. I would have a lot more difficult time swallowing $199 than I would $150.
Yeah, but for Disneyland, it's only $30 more. And if you really did forget and you really wanted it, $30 isn't too bad. But for $50 more for Disney World,
I'd have to really weigh how many more photos am I going to get by having that plus,
and instead of just doing the regular.
Yeah.
But it's good to know at least it's an option.
It is good to know, because I think if I was on a big family vacation, it might be worth it for Disney World. Those trips a lot of times are once every few years, and so it might be worth the extra if I didn't know about it or forgot about it.
Because I feel like even just for the ride photos alone, it's such a good value. Because I was thinking about this after we recorded our PhotoPass show, thinking, okay, so if you're at, you go on Splash Mountain, say, and you're going afterwards, and I always see people there buying their photos, and I look at how much those photos cost, and I'm like, ouch, like $12 for like your little 5x7 photo. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so by the time you did that like twice, you could just get a PhotoPass Plus.
It's the truth. And, when I was at Disneyland, I said this on our show, but when I was at Disneyland last time, I forgot to pre-order it. And, I was there with my younger sister and one of my other younger sisters and her family. And so we actually got to ride Splash Mountain for the first time ever. It was the first time ever that I was on Splash Mountain, and my whole group filled up one whole log flume. So that was exciting for me. And so I went and paid for the digital download. I paid the $12 for the digital download because I needed that photo. So when you look at it that way, if I would have known that I could have gone in and bought the PhotoPass Plus there, I probably would have done it.
Because you were doing regular PhotoPass anyway?
Yeah, because I would have done, we were doing regular PhotoPass anyway. I was planning on ordering a whole CD of all of the photos, so.
And last time we did the PhotoPass Plus, I actually had a friend of mine email me and say, oh my gosh, I ordered my PhotoPass Plus now because of your show, and I'm leaving in 10 days. Do you think it's going to get here? And I was like, I hope so. And she ended up getting it in the mail the day before she left. So it was like cutting it close.
Yeah.
So if you don't think to pre-order, or if you don't know about it until too late, then
I think it's a good option. It is a good option to know.
And for some people, money's not an option, so not an issue. So they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll just get it there.
Well, when you look at that cost versus the whole cost of your entire trip, yeah, the $50 is not to have all of those memories. It's not a big deal.
So that's good to know. Okay, so the second part of this information from Heather says, also of note, I was working on my pics for this trip, and I noticed they got rid of the 7-day extension, and the 15-day extension got doubled in price to $20. Oh, this is the extension she's talking about is like the days that your PhotoPass pictures are available online. Right?
It's to buy them. Once you've added the PhotoPass pictures to your account online, you have 30 days to buy them. Mm-hmm. So you have 30 days to add the photos to your PhotoPass account online. And then from the time that you add them, you have 30 days to buy them.
Right.
And so it's the 15-day extension to purchase them.
So there used to be a 7-day extension?
I guess so. I didn't even know that there were extensions available, quite honestly.
I didn't either. So I guess there used to be a 7-day, but they don't have that anymore. But they have a 15-day extension that got doubled in price to $20. Mm-hmm. So you pay if you're not done with your pictures, you're not ready to order, then you can pay for a 15-day extension. She said, I'm the opposite of you guys. I add a lot of borders, though once I got into DigiScrap, I hardly use those pics. LOL. So I need the extensions often. Also, if I go to several trips over a short time, it's usually cheaper getting a few extensions versus getting another CD.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. Like if you are going on a couple trips near each other and you need, a 15-day extension to combine the CDs, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to see how this all works out because I'm trying something that I've never done before. I went to Disneyland in October and I'm going to Disney World in December. And so I did an extension on those photos in Disneyland and I'm going to see if I can combine them all onto one PhotoPass CD.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the PhotoPasses combine coast to coast.
Yeah, I've heard that they do. If you do the prepaid, I've heard that they do. So we'll see. And I got the PhotoPass Plus for Disney World. And so we'll see if I can combine them all onto one CD. It would be great if I could.
Yeah, I have to report back.
I'll let you know. For sure. So, okay, the last little bit that we have next is from Gail, and she says, I just discovered your great blog. I am taking my grandchildren to Disneyland and love your idea of Minnie Me. Please, can you tell me where you got her or did you make her? So I put a link. I've had lots of people ask me this for Minnie Me on the website. And if you haven't been to the website at all, Minnie Me is just a little clay figurine that looks like me. She's my Minnie Me version. And I take her to the parks with me and take pictures of her all over. And then on Fridays, we have a contest where you can guess where Minnie Me is. And there are 2 ways you can win. If you know where she is, you can guess. Or you can enter by socially sharing the contest in one way or another, tweeting, Facebook, or Pinterest. And you can actually get multiple entries for all of those. And you can do each of those every day that the contest is open. So you can get multiple entries and multiple chances to win. And then the prize I've been doing is $25 PayPal cash for each winner. And that's
awesome.
Yeah.
$25 cash.
Yeah. You can spend anywhere they take PayPal. Yeah. So yeah, I did try to do a Disney gift card to the Disneystore.com, but I had problems getting the gift cards checked out and they were slow to respond to me. So I just decided to bag that and go back to the PayPal cash because then I can just take care of it right when people win. And it's easier for me. But anyway, Minnie Me, I got her from an Etsy store called Trina's Clay Creations. And I'll put a link in the show notes. And I will eventually be adding some links to my favorite things on the sidebar on Capturing Magic, my favorite planning websites. And so Trina will be there as well. And if you want your own Minnie Me, you can get one from Trina.
Do you just send her a picture of yourself and then she just makes it?
She specializes in wedding cake toppers. And so when I started communicating with her about doing this and kind of told her what I wanted, and then, I linked her up to a picture of me somewhere and was like, this is me. So
cute.
Do her hair like mine, same color, length, that kind of stuff. It was, and then I wanted, specific things on her shirt and all. I gave her a lot of details, and it was amazing, right down to the pattern on my cell phone, because I linked her up to my cell phone cover. I think for some reason it was like, this is my cell phone cover that I usually have, and I always have my cell phone in my pocket. And so
that is so funny.
Yeah, it's an amazing amount of detail on this little 2.5-inch, 3-inch figurine. So
on her site, she doesn't have she doesn't have Disney stuff. You just had her make yours Disney.
I did. I asked her to make mine for me Disney, and she said that she would do it for other people if they wanted it done. I just asked her not to do the camera on the mouse ears like I have on Minnie Me. I want that to be kind of an exclusive thing for Capturing Magic Me. And so she said that would be fine. She would do that. But if other people want mouse ears with something else on it, she'll do it for them. So
fun.
Yeah, it's a super fun thing to do. My whole family actually wants their own Minnie Me.
I bet. I want one.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, they feel a little gypped out. So I'll have to see maybe for Christmas. She does book out pretty far in advance, a month or more, a month to two, I would say 6 to 8 weeks to get your order from the time that you place it. So
do you know what her price range is approximately?
For mine, it was about $40 for my little Minnie Me.
That's pretty good for like custom detailed like that. Like that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. And she's pretty durable because she's taken lots of tumbles, and we did have to do surgery on her eye before we went to Disneyland, but because when we were in Disney World, she fell off a table and cracked one of her eyes. So,
jeez.
But Trina sent me some extra eyes so that we could do surgery. But yeah, it's fun. It's been a lot of fun to have her with me at the parks, and she's definitely got her own little personality. So
I'm worried about her. Every time you post a picture, I'm like, she's going to fall off.
My mom, when we were in Disney World, every time I'd prop her up somewhere, she's like, oh, Stephanie, you're going to lose her.
I'm surprised you haven't lost her.
Well, I did lose one in Disneyland.
Well, yes, but not because she could have run away, but
I know.
Not because she fell down into the depths of the lagoon.
No, I know, which I'm really lucky that I haven't lost her that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and I did get another stunt double. So if anything happens to Minnie Me, we're good to go with another one. So
good. There's a backup.
Because I'm clumsy. So I'm actually surprised that she's lasted as long as she has.
Well, if she's Minnie you, then that's why she's so tipsy over. If you're clumsy, then
I'm very clumsy. Yes, that's exactly. She's very much she's really got her own personality. My parents and I could not believe when we were in Disney World how she just took on this own little personality, and it was hysterical. All of the mischief she got into,
so funny. Without
any help. Yep. So I think that wraps it up for today. It's a short show.
We have to do our picks.
We do.
Pick.
Yeah. Okay. I've been off for a little while. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back now. Okay. We're going to do picks.
Okay.
We will now do our picks with Pixie Dust. Do you have a pick, Brittney?
I do. Today, my pick with Pixie Dust is just a tip that if you already know about this, you'll be like, oh yeah, Brittney, I know. But if you don't know, it will totally change your world. So, in this tip, well, this pick or tip or whatever, it only really applies to Disneyland, because at Disney World, I hear this is not how they do it anymore. But in Disneyland, when you get a Fast Pass, you get the Fast Pass and it tells you you can come back between this time and this time to use your Fast Pass. And before we knew this, before my family had learned this tip, we would rush back, between that hour or whatever it is to get back and use our Fast Pass. So we were running around the park all day long using Fast Passes, getting Fast Passes here, using them over there, back and forth, back and forth. But now we've learned that just because the Fast Pass says you can come back between, let's say, 10 and 11 a.m., even if it's after 11 a.m., you can still use that FastPass. As long as it's after the time that the FastPass starts, you can use it throughout the entire day. So even though we got it in the morning and it says to come back between 10 and 11, you can still come back at like 7 p.m. and use that FastPass, as long as it's after the start time.
Which is great.
It's so great. It frees up your whole day because you can just hold on to that FastPass and come back whenever it's convenient to use it.
Yeah.
But at Disney World, they used to do that at Disney World. When I went, it was like that. But in the last few months, they've started enforcing that time on the FastPass.
They have. And one of the things that's I noticed while I was down there last is that they've narrowed the windows. So usually at Disneyland, you have a couple hours, 2 hours or so. Mm-hmm. That if they were to enforce it, you would have a couple hours. At Disney World, they're narrowing the windows, and sometimes it's an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. But it makes it difficult to navigate the parks and do everything you want to do when you've got this, fast pass across the other side of the park that you have an hour and a half to use.
And have you tried to use it after the window and they really won't accept it?
I personally have not tried to use it after the window. I've heard of people that have and have had problems. So,
because I wondered when they first changed it, I was like, I wonder if they'll have like a grace period where people are still learning that, if they'll still say, okay, you can use it, but next time come within the window. I just wondered how particular they were being about it.
Yeah, I heard when they first, the first few days, but that was as much grace as they gave people.
Wow.
And typically they were trying to enforce it and only gave people grace if they kind of gave them huff on it. So.
Well, at Disneyland, for all of the Disneyland people,
yes,
use it any time during the day as long as that time has passed, that first time has passed. There's rumors that Disneyland is going to change that as well and start doing it as the same way the Disney World does it. But that's been a rumor for a while, so I don't know. We'll see. I hope not. But
and it had been rumored at Disney World too for a while before it started down there. And I think one of the reasons that they've moved to that at Disney World is because of the RFID stuff that they're going to be moving to with and being able to actually schedule rides.
What's RFID?
RFID is, I don't remember what it stands for, but it's basically just a chip that they'll have in a bracelet that will have all your fast pass times and everything in it. They've moved to that for, they're moving to RFID to unlock your rooms. They've got RFID in some of the mugs at Disney World so that you can only get refills on your mugs within, one refill, and then you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can get another refill, and only within your reservation period, so that you can't come back. You go down there and get your mug in January. You can't come back in March and use the same mug to get refills because they've got the RFID technology in there.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the rumor, is that they'll eventually be, everyone will have a bracelet and they'll have all of your information in that bracelet, your name, things that you like, and characters will be able to recognize you. And when you'll have reservations for all of the rides, and it'll all be in that bracelet.
Yeah, I've heard about the reservation thing. That's why they started enforcing it, because they were going to start doing fast pass reservation.
Yeah.
Where you go in the morning or online or something and reserve what fast passes you want throughout the day and kind of set up your day beforehand.
Yeah.
But which would be cool, I guess.
Yeah. I've heard January.
Huh. They've
been testing out some of this kind of stuff with the fast passes for just, people that have.
Yeah, I've heard that there was some testing.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. So for now at Disneyland,
you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it.
And it's such a cool tip. And I tell people that all the time because it's it just frees up your day. It makes your day a little bit easier.
It does. So, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. The easier you can make your day and, as chill as it can be, the better for memories, better for all that. So
that's true.
There you go. That's my pick.
Okay. My pick is kind of along your lines. I'm going with you here.
Okay.
Going with the flow. So one of my favorite tips for navigating the parks and stuff like that is to use ride swaps. And
I was going to pick that in the future because that's my other awesome tip. Good job.
Yeah. If you're a Disney veteran, you know about ride swaps and it's like, what? That's the lamest pick. But if you're a Disney veteran, you also know that people that don't go a lot don't know about this. And it's so hard for them to understand it a lot of times. But using the ride swaps so that, if you have a child that doesn't want to ride a ride or somebody in your group that doesn't want to ride the ride, then you go on and when you go to get on the ride, you ask them, where can I get a ride swap? Sometimes it's at the beginning of the queue. Sometimes it's the middle of the queue. Sometimes it's at the exit. But you ask them where you get a ride swap. They have to see the person that isn't riding on the ride and the person that's staying behind. And then they'll give you a pass so that you can get in the fast pass line the next time around.
Or sometimes, depending on the ride, they'll have you go to the exit.
Yeah.
If it's not through the fast pass. Like at Space Mountain, they have you wait at the exit.
Oh, do they?
To do the ride swap. We do this a lot. We call it the child swap because Scarlett can't ride, the big rides. And we have a lot of little kids in our group, usually with our family, who can't do those, some of the rides. So we call it, the rider swap thing. And, so that we'll usually, depending on how many kids we have, if it's too many kids that can't ride, we'll say, okay, we have 2 adults that are staying, and they'll usually ask like, okay, where are they? And we're like, right here, or they're over there with the strollers, and they'll give us 2 rider swap passes because I think your rider swap, when you come back to use it, you can only get on with you and one other person.
Yeah, it depends.
You can't have like 5 people on the ride with one swap pass.
No. A lot of times it's you and 2 other people because I know with us, our kids usually get to ride twice.
Yeah.
Our 2 older kids get to ride twice. So they'll go with my husband and ride the ride and then get off, and then I'll go with them. And so they'll get to ride it twice in a row, which they love.
Yeah. You have to kind of be careful and read what the pass says and make sure you get enough because even though we were doing that where the little kids got to ride twice, because the adults were swapping,
Yes.
For the babies and, they were staying with babies. But we did kind of get some heat a couple of times from cast members saying, it's only like 2 people per pass. And so, and we were like, well, it's just a little kid. Like, if
right.
Her with us, like we can't leave her here too. Like that would make her really sad. So we usually could get them on twice, but using that rider swap pass and like kind of, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like utilizing that system is key to like making the most of your day so that like someone doesn't have to wait in that whole line twice. And the rider swap isn't on every ride. Like it's mostly on
the bigger rides.
The bigger rides that kids or people who didn't want to ride it wouldn't go on. Like you can't ride or swap like teacups or something.
No, or Small World. You can't ride swap Small World.
Right.
But Haunted Mansion even.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we have kids that are scared, and it's even, we have kids that are tall enough to ride rides, but they don't want to ride them and don't like to ride them. And so we've just had to, I'll go up to the cast members and say, we need a ride swap. And they'll say, she's tall enough. And I'll say, do you want to ride this ride? And she'll say, no. And then they'll give us a ride swap pass for that.
Yeah. And there's always a cast member standing at the entrance of the ride. Like every ride that does a ride swap, there's a cast member standing there, and you just ask them, and they'll go get you a pass, or they have one in their jacket or whatever. And we have found also that ride swaps work a little bit like a fast pass in that you don't have to use it right that second. Like sometimes it'll happen where we'll go and ask for the rider swap pass, and the first group will ride. And then by the time they get out, we're all starving or something, and we need to go and eat or go see a parade and then come back and use the other half of our rider swap. And that's okay. You can use it a little bit later.
Yeah, we've done that too.
I think that they are supposed to be used in the same day. Like I don't think you should take it home or take it to your hotel and come back because they use certain colors of paper for certain days. And so they'll know if you bring it back the next day.
Yeah, because we tried that. I'll admit it. We tried that. And it didn't work because they use different colors and stuff.
Sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. So I wouldn't recommend it. We got away with it a couple of times, but mostly they would like look at us funny and be like, this is the wrong color. We're like, it is? Okay.
No, didn't know that. It was from yesterday. We can't use it today.
Mostly just use your use it on the same day. Oh, and I was also going to say about Child Swap is that if you get fast passes as well.
Yes. No, this is something that lots of newbies really, it's hard to
thing.
Yeah,
but it works. Like if your whole group gets fast passes, because everybody can get a fast pass, even the kids who aren't tall enough if they have a ticket. So if you get fast passes for your whole group, whether they're riding or not, then you have, say, like 10 fast passes or whatever. Then 3 of them use the fast passes and the other 3 get a rider swap. Then you can like double your fast passes because you have those ones that the other people who would have used the fast passes, they're using the rider swap. And then you can all ride it again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can use the other half of the fast passes to ride it again and get the rider swap again.
Yeah. So basically, you can really double your rides if you're using the rider swap and the fast passes together. Which we do that a lot. We've mastered this the technique because get fast passes, but we all can't ride the rides. We did it on Radiator Springs Racers a lot because the fast passes are pretty much gone. You know, you have to get them right in the beginning of the day, and then they are gone. And so we would all get fast passes in the morning for that, and then we would do the rider swap. So basically, we got to ride twice because we once with the rider swap and once with the fast pass.
Yeah,
and without waiting in the long line. So
exactly. And you can also think something that we've done before is get half fast passes for one ride and half fast passes for a different ride, because you can't get another fast pass for a different ride until 2 hours has passed from getting a fast pass or the window comes for you to use that fast pass.
Yep.
Which when there are a lot of, like at Disney World, a lot of rides on the fast pass system, that's a pain.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't tell everyone our big secrets.
I know.
But now everyone will do it.
Our touring secrets. No, those are all really good tips. It's just, it's hard for newer people to, they might have to listen back to the show a couple of times because I know it's confusing. It can get really confusing.
Maybe we can write it out or something and explain ourselves a little better. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad our picks kind of meshed with each other there.
Well, yeah, your pick made me think of that other pick. So
I was going to talk about that too, but then I thought, well, I'll just talk about this one this time and not try and combine it all into one. So it worked out good.
It worked out well, yeah, for sure. Okay, now now it's not as short of a show since we added our picks in there, which is good. Okay, remind everyone where they can find you, Brittney.
I am at BritishDesigns.com, and that's British with 2 T's, and that's where you'll find my blog and my digital scrapbooking shop, and all my social media sites are all there. That's where I'm at.
Great. And I'm Steph, and I can be found at capturingmagic.me and at thedailydigi.com, which we need to have a shout out for the Daily Digi for sponsoring this show, and capturingmagic.me. So if you're interested in digital scrapbooking, you'll want to head over there and check out the site and all of the instructions and the great deal in digital scrapbooking that you can find there by becoming a member. So that's about it. All right, Brittney.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Yeah. And we'll see everyone back here next week where we will be capturing magic.